I'm going to show you how to cut a bore out with a CNC machine. First, you have to turn on the 3-phase converter. Then you have to turn on the machine. Now we need to run this all the way back because Ian was too lazy to move it back. Otherwise, it's going to take a couple minutes to zero it out. So let's run it back by hand. And clear out our alarms. Cycle the door. Z, all. And reset. We're going to go over to hand jog. Select 100 thousandths and then hold the Z button. And you can also press the X button. X is right there and Z is there, and you know these are the directions you're moving. Now we need to unlock the hand wheels so we can do it manually. Hand jog, shift Z, and shift X. So right there it shows you that you have manual capability of this machine. First thing I'm going to do is make a cut on the bore, and then I'm going to press the X measure button, and then I'm going to measure that, and then I'm going to enter that information in our tool selection. So let's go down to tool 3, because we'll reference tool 3. See T303, that's tool 3. If it was T202, that would be tool 2. We need to turn the spindle on, so we're going to press forward, enter the RPM we want. So I'm going to go with 600. And you could turn that down by pressing the spindle speed down. And we can press forward and forward. It's not spinning the full speed because of the gate sensor. So there we go. So to bypass the gate sensor, I pull the door back a little bit. So that is to prevent people from getting hurt. So you see, if the door is open, it's not supposed to spin. Now we're going to hit the X measure button. This is your X right here. So when you press this button, you need to make sure that that was in the same position it was when it made that cut. What happens here when you press the X measure, it comes, whatever tool you're selecting, you're on tool 2, you press X measure, now it's asking you to put the diameter of whatever that part is after you just cut it. So what I need to do is go down to tool 3, which I press the arrow key, X measure. So now it's going to ask me to put in the diameter of whatever that was that I just cut. Now I can move the tool so I can take my measurement and make sure it cut all the way around. I'm getting, when I measure this, which is a tool I use to get my measurement, is 2.449. This tool will expand and retract. You release it, you get it to get the bore, and then you release it in the bore, and you wiggle around trying to make sure you got it even, and then you tighten it back up so you get that measurement, and then you pull it back out, and then you measure it. Once you get that measurement, you're going to put that in right there. So we need to go over here. 2.449 inches. And then you press enter. It puts it right there. Once you think it's good, tighten it up. So now I want to get a Z reference point. So I'm just going to bring the tool in here until it touches Z measure on tool 3. So it just changed that number right there. Now I need to write the CNC program. When I want to start this program, I want to start it somewhere close to the beginning of this cut. So we can do a start from like right here. So now what I want to do is take my current Z position and subtract it from where I just measured. So that will give us our Z start position. So the way that I determine the Z distance is to move the tool in the farthest that I want it to go to. So where the end point is of the cut. But once I get the tool moved there, then I'll record that information here. Take this number and subtract it from the Z reference point. And then I'm going to subtract it from the Z start point that I chose, which is 0.6809. And then, so now, basically I've taken this dimension, subtracted it from the dimension that the tool is going to, and then I'm subtracting out the Z start position, which leaves me with this distance here, which is from the Z start position to the Z end, and that's going to be our Z distance. We go to enter this in, we're going to go to MDI, manual data input, program conversational, and then we could choose through all these menus. I'm in the turn face menu, an ID turn. So if we want to back out of these menus, press cancel, and that will go back, and you can go through the menus. But of course, I just want to go to the turn face menu, but we can do radius, or, there's a lot of different options here. So we'll go to as if we're running this program. So right here, ID turn face. Now here's where we put in our information. Starting at the 2.449, pad 2.449. That shows up right there. Enter. And we want to cut that to, I took the wheel dimension, 6.175. It needs to be 0.75 to 0.90 bigger than the wheel, depending on which turbo you're working on. For this one, because it's ball bearing, I'm aiming for 0.75 to 0.8 max. Some of them are actually 0.85, like Mitsubishi turbos are, like TD05 stuff, but I usually like to max out at 0.8, just so I'm under, and we could always cut it bigger. So on this one, I'm going to do 0.75 is what I'm planning to cut it to. I'll measure it, and then I'll try and finish my bore at 0.8 over. So 0.75 over is going to be 62.5 millimeter. Convert that into inches, and Google rounded that up, but it's actually supposed to be 2.4605. So that's going to be my diameter to cut to. So 2.4605. And it shows up right there. Enter. Dimension, Z dimension. So that was what I explained here, where we did all that math to figure out how far the tool is going to go. 1.5633. Z dimension, 1.5633. Shows up here. Wait, oh, press the wrong button. I gotta delete that. So if you want to delete it, you just press cancel, and it's your backspace. Depth of cut, I'll do 15 thousandths. We're not really cutting that much out anyway. And you can change your RPMs up here. So this one, I might want to turn that up to 800. Then I can use the spindle overrides to turn it back down. And I can always turn it back up if I want to. 20. I want to output this, so F4. I didn't even realize it actually gives you information here based on your selection. See that? And it gives you a demonstration there of what the cut it's actually making to. Anyway, so we want to output this, F4. I'm going to do it to MDI. So this is basically our clipboard. Press enter, and it puts it over here in the clipboard. So you see that 720, we know that's the one we're working on. Now you can click MDI and you can run it from here. Or you could also do a graph so you can figure out what this is going to do before you run it. So let's do that. But before we do that, we need to pull this tool back out. So I need to go back to hand jog and Shift Z. Now that the tool is in a safe position, let's go to MDI. And I want to do the settings graph thing. So we press that setting graph thing twice. And then we want to run this, but we need to turn our execution speed down to, so we'll go to F3. And cycle start that and see what this actually does. Do that. So this is just, it's coming in, it's boring, it's boring, it's boring, and then it's done. We can run this, so if we feel comfortable. Yeah, we're on MDI, so now we can run it for real. We'll turn our spindle speed down. Right now it's at, what, 90%? Oh, it's at 100. Turn that down. Cycle start. Turn down our rapids right here. So if we want to save our program, we're going to go back to MDI, program conversational, so we're over here again. And then, so basically the white screen is where you are. So now I'm on the program, I'm on the edit menu, F4, create a program. We can output it to a current program or output it to our clipboard, which is MDI, which is that. So I'll just do a demonstration, press enter. And you could select from here if you want to scroll forever, but there's over 300 on here, so we'll just do a random program. 00515. But always have to start with that letter O. And it has to be this many digits here. I'll press enter. This is now program 515. Let's just go ahead and press enter again. Memory, because that's now our program 515. And then we want to make some edits. What's the name of this wheel? Oh, G3 F2C. $61.75mm, comma, parentheses, and that puts it right there. So I can put additional information in here. I can write whatever I really want to in here as notes. So I do that a lot. And so like I'll put ID shift equals 6.175. I think we ran out of characters. Delete that. We entered it right there. Now we can do the insert feature to add more characters here. So so basically 5, 6, 3, 3. Insert. So I wrote down the information I put in the program, but I put that in millimeters, so technically I need to go back and change this to inches. So I'll do that. So there's my edits for memory. Edit is where you can change anything you want to. So I could change that spindle speed if I wanted to. I could change a lot of stuff. I could change the tool number if I wanted to. The D right there, D point, 15 thousandths. That's how much it's taken off per pass. So I could just change that to 20, 25, whatever I wanted to. Feed rate, 4 thousandths. I could change that, but I like 4, so I'll just leave it there.